So finally, managing service levels. One of the ways BalancePoint helps in this area is through the infrastructure response time. You can actually use that one metric to quickly show if poor end-user performance is due to infrastructure issues. We talked about this earlier. We talked about infrastructure response time, but I'm sure you've been in many instances where you can't figure out the problem. You have to pull statistics from different tools, correlate them in a spreadsheet, go into a meeting and figure out where the problem is. One of the key benefits out of the box with BalancePoint is it really pinpoints that root cause. Is it in the infrastructure or not? And that's the primary value, the first value that most customers get right out of the box. Also shown on this chart is the abnormality index, and that's really a useful metric to predict when applications are behaving inconsistently and can alert you to that so you can take action or be proactive, in fact. So the final case study that I'm going to cover is with FSVA Mutual Insurance Company. They had this mysterious intermittent system-wide performance problem that would hit like every afternoon, really hurting their service levels, and they couldn't figure out what was going on with the tools that they had. The BalancePoint was installed, and it's a very quick installation depending on the size of the infrastructure. It can be a couple hours to a day. But it went in, identified the problem as a storage contention issue, so they were able to fix it quickly and get on with things. They've also been able to simplify their data center management and better communicate service levels as a team. So just to sum up here, just to go back to the original theme of the presentation, we want to make sure that you're getting the best out of the infrastructure, and that you understand that there's a lot of performance and capacity capabilities with an infrastructure performance management tool that can really enable you to best balance performance and utilization while better predicting the resources that you're going to need, and hopefully give you some more time out of the office and not have to deal with pop-up performance issues. And BalancePoint's impact can be significant. Most customers have been able to cut troubleshooting time by 80%. And with the dozens of reports that we provide, you can also cut reporting time. We have a customer, Vancouver Coastal Health, that said they saved about 20 hours every quarter by not having to access and generate reports from within each of their servers when they had to do a specific reporting exercise for their management team. And finally, reduce capital expenditures like storage purchases. We have a customer who thought they were running out of storage, and it turned out that they really just need to move things around, and were able to postpone a purchase for about 6 months, which put them into the next fiscal year. So hopefully through the examples I've covered in the presentation, I've been able to demonstrate the value that BalancePoint as an infrastructure performance management solution can bring to an IT operations team, and specifically the team that runs the virtualization infrastructure. If you're interested in seeing more of these case studies, you can go to Akorri.com/case studies, or Akorri.com, and then just dive into the resources area of the website. So with that, I'll hand it over to Stacy for some questions.
Well, thank you very much, Lisa. Again, at this time, we will open it up for any of your questions. As you are writing your questions in the Q&A box on the lower right-hand side of the screen, I just want to remind you to visit Akorri.com/Nexus for more information on the BalancePoint solution. This site does include a risk-free demonstration of the Akorri BalancePoint solution along with a variety of resources for you to review. A couple questions have come in, and one that came in early during today's presentation was, besides the vCenter plugin, is there another way to view BalancePoint?
Yes, there is. You can, it's installed as a virtual appliance. It's a web-based application, so you don't have to use the plugin for vCenter. You can just, view it right on your desktop via, in Outlook, Explorer, Firefox, any browser.
Okay. And this one actually is probably more for Nexus. But it says, do you offer any assessments so I can get an understanding of what my infrastructure looks like?
Yes, actually, that's one of the great uses of Akorri. One of the main things Nexus does is works with our customers to not only provide POC environments, but we also perform high-level assessments for our clients. And Akorri is not only a great way to learn more about your virtual infrastructure from a management tool, but is also a very powerful tool when it comes to installing for an assessment to help you get an idea of what kind of performance your virtual environment is having. What we found is it really helps customers get beyond that initial entry level of virtualization and allows them to really optimize their environment and move it to the next level. So if there's any interest in talking about what an assessment would look like or how that would happen, feel free to contact me and we can talk about installing it for a brief period of time on your environment to assess where you're at from a virtual infrastructure standpoint.
Okay, thank you. And one final question that has come in so far is, does BalancePoint work in both a virtual and physical environment?
Yes, it does. There's automatic collection happens as soon as BalancePoint is installed and shows you that visual map of the virtual and physical environment, servers and storage. So you get that performance map, and you're up and running.
Okay. I think that's all the questions that we have today. As I mentioned at the beginning, everyone who is registered for this webinar will receive an email with the instructions on how to access the replay. Again, thank you so much for joining us today, and we hope that you found the information valuable and will be joining us again for future presentations. I would like to thank our sponsor, Nexus Information Systems, and both of our presenters for taking the time out of their day to be with us. At this time, this does conclude our presentation, and thank you again for attending.